actually Solari's will be answered. So Hawk and Solari, have fun.
Well, let's see how many of our questions can be answered, shall we? As already, wow, major mid lane focus in the bans. LeBlanc, Azir, and Tristana taken away. Now, Azir, generally pretty strong in the meta right now, but Solari, I know you're pretty new here. If you're going to be a part of the House of Hows, you need to understand that this man is a monster on Azir.
Okay, thank you. That's some crucial info that I've just been fed. I shall remember it, and I shall be a little bit sad because he has been removed. There's still... No, LeBlanc is not available for him either, so I have no idea what exactly House is going to be playing, but I know that if you're on the blue side and Rel is available, it is a must to pick her up.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this champion has just been so strong across global regions as well as here in the CBLOL, performing so incredibly well. Again, other power picks, that Kai'Sa getting locked in. We've got things like the Ivern, Sejuani, Maokai, Cassante up on the board. Maokai was banned, but all those other champions still have been available.
This Kai'Sa could actually go both ways. She can go to the bot lane, she can go to the mid lane, depending on what the other picks from the blue side are going to look like. Tell me this is going to be picked, because I haven't seen Kayn in jungle for ages. This is... No, this is not going to happen. I was hoping for some... breath of fresh air into the current meta. That would be the spiciness we wanted back, I think, if we just saw Kayn picked on blue too. Like, that's all I'm saying. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure if I wanted to be on B2, but I just wanted to be picked somewhere.
Maybe they're teasing it, you know? They'll pick it later on in the draft, but unfortunately for us, at the moment, it will just be the standard answer into the Kai'Sa with this Xayah coming out. So we're kind of seeing the common bot lane 2v2 mismatched in that we got Rel Xayah and then Kai'Sa Rakan. I'm actually curious, who do you think is favored here in this 2v2?
Pre-level 6, this has to be Kai'Sa and Rakan, because both Rel and Kai'Sa provide a lot of kill pressure for the lane, but Rakan provides healing back, and Xayah is extremely vulnerable pre-level 6. If anybody locks up on her, she will either burn all her summoners or she is going to die. But after level 6, I think this is when the balance starts shifting towards Xayah and Rel quite heavily.
Yeah, I could definitely see that being the case. Those ultimates can be very powerful, but we've got the second round of bans now coming out. Another Rumble ban, so Solari, you're not going to get Rumble once again by Sylas being taken away. Looking at the jungle to be locked in for Furia, in mid lane for Fluxo as the mismatch picks, as well as both top laners for either side.
I have a suspicion that with Ivern still not being banned out, it could happen on the blue side. It could happen on B4 or B5. It doesn't matter. It just can happen. And I honestly would like to see it, especially after the previous game we had today. Didn't really get much of that Iron action. Plus, you have the mid lane who doesn't really rely... Okay, those are... Fluxo are really interesting with their hovers today, but I shall not believe them because nothing of what they've hovered so far has happened. They have been hovering a Kali, they've been hovering Lux for us, nothing happened. Instead, they're locking in blind Renekton for that top lane.
Both these teams are just playing with our heartstrings before locking in total meta, you know? Like come on, Renekton, really? What I do hope is that we don't get a Cassante on 4 into this Renekton like we saw last game. I was not a very big fan of that. Instead, it's going to be the Ornn, which is countered in lane by this pick, but that is a lot of team fight power for Furia, and the kind of pick that we have come to expect from Batal. But now, Goot, what do you opt to go for, Solari? I know you mentioned that Ivern being up and available. You've also got things like the Wukong that could be locked in and have been very common here in the CBLOL.
And Wukong would work here nicely, but they've locked in Kindred. We just had all this talk about the carry junglers not necessarily walking right now, and there is a reason for that, because if you pick a carry jungler, especially a jungler like Kindred, you need to understand that your whole focus in the game right now is to work around this red. You need to provide her with the marks, you need to provide her with the scaling, and you need to be working around her as the main character in this story.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I know that we were a little bit critical of the carry junglers in the pregame, but I think the Kindred pick is really good here. Fluxo, they get the Syndra to pick up a bit of range, but by and large, a very short range composition that's very focused on burst. The kind of comp that Kindred can excel into, and with the Ahri to help out in a very powerful mid jungle, as well as the double tanks and support in top. Solari, I'm going to just throw it over to you. I feel like Furia's got something here, but what do you think? I know you were very adamant about them needing to fix things in draft.
I am happier with this draft compared to what we saw from them yesterday, because yesterday they were just drafting around themselves, not taking into consideration what the enemies were picking for their team. Here, I see a little bit more understanding of what's happening on both sides of the map, and I think that this Kindred can actually accelerate and feel quite well in this team, but again, this will require a lot of focus from everybody on the team. I think I like what's happening with Furia right now. I like the own pick very much. I think he's going to work well both with the Rel and with his Kindred, because she will need somebody to start the fights for her. She cannot be the first one to go head straight into the action. She needs this long-range engage that On is going to be able to provide, and Rel in general. Just she's going to be able to keep things like Renekton away from Kindred or a safe distance. And then Xayah is just feeling happy and safe because she's just Xayah, and that's what she does. I think this draft for Furia might just work out, but I need to see how the early game is going to look for them.
All right, RMC, we've got the Solari seal of approval. Yeah. What do you think?
You know what? Vital on attack, I'm down for that. Not picking Cassante into Renekton, I am down for that. I'm happy with Furia. I think Fluxo, though, I want to talk about their draft because I think it's very, very standard front to back. I like what they've drafted in isolation. I am a little bit concerned, though, that they don't really have great answers into the likes of the Ornn, and I'm looking right now at that mid lane, at that Syndra, to be that difference makers. Because if you take that Syndra out, the comp is great, but it doesn't do well into what Furia have drafted.
Yeah, definitely can be the case. It feels like Fluxo indexing a bit more to the mid game. Furia, a lot of scaling on their side. One thing I do want to bring up as we load onto Summoner's Rift, maybe just a little bit slowly, but we are making our way there, is... Sorry, we mentioned the possibility of bot lane going in Fluxo's favor early on into the game, pre-6. I would also expect both the Syndra and the Renekton to have early priority. Could this make Goot's life more difficult on the Kindred?
It could. Because as long as mid lane and the bot lane have the prior, they can rotate in the jungle and they can stop Kindred from taking marks. And Kindred without her marks is nothing. It's going to be really hard for her to get the marks from the enemy champions during the laning phase, so she needs to rely on counter jungling a lot. So we need to see if she's even going to be able to.
Definitely have to see if she's able to. We are finally here on Summoner's Rift as everybody has fanned out. Vital is making a bit of a cameo appearance here in the bottom side of the Rift. I'm not expecting anything too crazy. I think it's more so just a means to make sure Fluxo doesn't get any too aggressive. But that does mean that Ty just able to walk in here at the blue buff for free and should be able to drop a ward if he so chooses. And yep, there it goes.
And the wards are everything that Kindred needs right now. The wards are everything that both of these teams really need very much right now. Both of them need to understand how exactly the junglers are going to be moving around, because I cannot imagine any of the lanes, especially bot lane for Fury, being unprepared for a sudden Sejuani on their lane, which is going to be absolutely devastating.
Definitely can be incredibly problematic. You know, we mentioned how Dasami's has been playing a lot of these tank junglers recently, and again, on the Sejuani, it was a Maokai yesterday, just really starting to lean into this playstyle. And for a team that has, I think, become so much about Brunsey, it makes a lot of sense, and Hal's going to be able to be a big-time secondary carry on the Syndra if he is able to. But I think all eyes really going to be on this mid-jungle in the early stage of the game. Bot lane will have a bit of a role to play as well, but when there's a Kindred in the game, you can't help but track that one.
I'm not sure how peaceful the bot lane is going to be honest, because both of these city carries kind of want to wait out, get their levels in, but these supports, have you seen these supports, Hawk? They want to be jumping straight into the action, they want to be fighting, and wants to be having constant exchanges with the enemy going in and out. Rel just wants to go in and secure the kills or die. You never know how exactly it's going to go for her.
Most certainly. You can already see Fluxo there. They're getting bullied off the wave that little bit. Furia does have priority on it, and I mean, paying the respect that is due towards that Rel, not getting caught out by any sort of engage, but does mean that Furia does at least have that one pushing lane. You can see in the solo lanes, House and Ty, they've got their shove on the way, but with Goot crossing into the bottom side, he's not going to be under any threat from some sort of invade.
Ty is going to keep the pressure towards the top lane for quite some time. The thing is, it doesn't look like the pressure is going to be rotated into anything on the lane itself, because this is Ornn he's standing against, and Ornn is pretty much ungankable and unkillable. It has also a lot of damage. This is ridiculous how much damage this tank champion has, especially during the laning phase. Exactly! Exactly! He's everything! He does everything for you. It's not just the tank. Never underestimate Ornn. But with that, maybe no kill for Renekton, which is something he's pretty unhappy about. Renekton wants to have kills on the lane, but he also wants to have heralds. If you pick Renekton, it's pretty much same as Rumble, actually. If you pick Renekton and you're not taking the herald, you're doing something very wrong as a team.
Definitely something we'll have to keep our eyes on. I mean, you can even just see Dasami's leaning towards this side of the map. I think that's a little bit unexpected. Maybe there's potential for a dive onto Patao. Goot does lose out on the Scuttle Crab Mark flip, so that's a small win for Fluxo, and it is just going to be a cover on mid. Tuts is a little bit chunked out, and Goot is pathing bottom, so there could be some threat here. Another Dark Sphere lands. The charm has been used, but with the flash, Tuts able to get out of dodge, and Summoner Spell blown, most likely just going to teleport back.
But you can imagine that there is going to be further pressure onto the mid lane right now. With no flash on Ahri, she's still only level 4. You want to go to this lane again as a jungle. You really want to try.
There was a lot of fighting around there, so...
Yeah, actually, yeah. Just in the first game today, you're right. But there was also Jace with the very low health for the majority of the laning. So
That's true.
A double-sided coin. Or a double-sided sword? How does it go? You get it.
Fortunately, House does still have the flash, at least for the time being. Because it was last time, it was Avenger playing on the edge with low health, but he still had the flash. He was able to use it aggressively to get the kill and then promptly die about 30 seconds later. So maybe that'll just be the exact same thing. House can flash in, get a kill, and then die. And it's the time is a flat circle, but we'll have to see. Only time will tell.
As long as he has mana to do that, and he's going to recall, I'm assuming it's going to be the last chapter for him immediately, because Syndra, she really wants to get to this item, helps her with the mana issues on the lane a lot, and she's going to feel better coming back to her lane right now. Actually, the first Drake is already on the map. This is good time to have a look again at the mid lane, because whoever gets the prior there right now will rotate towards Drake.
So far, it's been a bit of a slow game. Supports have made their way over towards mid just to all say, hey, you back up. No, you back up. No, you back up. Zai making them back up, but Fluxo, they at least get the ward. And, I mean, we've already, I think, highlighted that Furia, a slow game benefits them. They have a lot of scaling on their side. So, Fluxo, you know, we're only 5 minutes in. You don't need to do anything super crazy, but how do you start to break open this game and generate that advantage that you need?
That's a good question. You want to get your Sejuani to level 6 and fight around your ultimate, because this is going to be huge in the upcoming fights, especially if they're not going to be full on 5-on-5. If you manage to catch 2-3 enemies in a smaller fight for around the dragon or any objective, this is going to be a massive win for you. And a lot of CC that Furia are not going to be able to shed away, because this time they're not playing Familia or something like that. They cannot really answer to the crowd control.
Jojo just getting a little bit caught out, a little lance in the face, but he's gonna be just fine. Able to W out over the wall. The priority in bottom might give Furia first move towards this dragon should they want it, but there's also a mark on top Crab, and if I can get into the mind of a Kindred player for a second, I'm seeing that and I really want it.
Is Renekton on the top lane? Even with you having an Ornn, do you want to risk it going to the top lane pre-level 6? You don't have Lamb's Respite. You are just a little lamb. You're super vulnerable. You don't want to be fighting Renekton in this state. He is going to slice and dice through you. You want to leave this mark alone unless your Ornn has any prior on the top lane and can convert you. Or your mid lane has any prior, which is neither are available for Furia right now.
Yeah, true. That solo lane priority is starting to result in some advantages, and it does kind of feel bad for Goot. The RNG not really going in his favor so far this game, but hey, that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes, and not been able to find any of that counter jungling that you so needed. In fact, is getting counter jungled himself right now. On the bottom side, this is just going to be a blue buff over to Dasami's, and there actually is a bit of a gold lead opening up for Fluxo, about 500 just off of the farm in their solo lanes, particularly mid.
If you're a Kindred player right now, if you want to get into a mind of a Kindred player right now, you are very, very unhappy with what's happening on the map.
I'm like internally crying right now. I might be externally crying right now if I'm Kindred. This sucks.
Honestly understandable. I cannot judge you. I used to be a Kindred player myself, and no! My day is ruined. Yeah. Oh, it's not really fun to be Kindred right now. Hey, at least he has level 6. He has access to Lamb's Respite. This ultimate is going to be massive for Furia.
Okay, but also that means Dasami's is level 6 too, and I was promised some action when Dasami's hit level 6. Tuts rather does have the flash coming back up right about now, so I don't think there's inherently a lot of threat around it. You've got both Dragon and Rift Herald on the map. There's no way both these teams just handshake the neutral objectives, right? Like, they've got to fight for them. Come on!
Yeah, give us some action. Both of you go towards the Drake. I don't know, the Furia are already there looking for ways to put in more vision.
They're gonna handshake it, aren't they?
Oh, no. Don't do that to us, please.
It might be a pretty good play for both of them, but this is so disappointing. Like, come on, why not just flip the game at 8 minutes? That's my favorite thing to do.
Yeah. It's almost 9th minute, and we still don't have first blood. Nobody has died for anything or for nothing. Is it even CBLOL still?
That's true. Sometimes, once in a blue moon, we get what we call CBLCK here, and it looks exactly like this.
Okay.
Oh, and wait a minute. We might be CBLPL again as Zai is burning down to the Ignite, but the Lamb's Respite will keep him alive. Tuts doesn't have the damage to trade back onto JoJo, so it's just going to be a little bit of action. Summoner spells blown off of Zai only in exchange for JoJo's Ignite, so a small win for the side of Fluxo.
No Lamb's Respite right now. Does she want to fight Sejuani?
Okay, wait, Goof is getting pretty low. The ult can follow in house. That's the flash forward I wanted to see, but Zai is here. 3v3. You can find the root and gets the kill in return. JoJo now forced to run for the hills, but has the flash up and available. Dasami's has his flash of his own, and a blast cone to work with, should be able to make it out. At the end of the day, it's a 1-for-1, unless Fluxo want to extend it. That's a flash in for Furia. It's going to be a 1-for-1 again as Dasami's drops. So does Tuts. JoJo able to disengage as he hits level 6 and gets the quickness. Brunty trying to burn down IU. One more auto will do it, and he gets it. Zai, level 5, can't do a damn thing but watch. He at least will stay alive as Fluxo forced to retreat due to the reappearance of Good. 3 for 2 at the end of the day in the jungle in a 1,000 gold lead over to Fluxo.
The moment we were complaining about the lack of action, teams come in and bring us the action. I'm very thankful to them. I don't understand the idea of Good here. Maybe to try to fight for the little birds, but you are still Kindred. You are really weak during this stage of the game. And Sejuani is already tanky, and she deals a lot of damage as well. It's the same story as Owen. But after I was starting to judge what Furia were doing there, Tuts comes in and says, hey, don't worry, I have everything under control. He has quite a lot of kills that he manages to grab here, has to sacrifice Flash in the end. But what matters is that he has a lot of gold in his pockets right now. And with the misfortune that Kindred is this game, it is important to have at least somebody in the team getting accelerated, and it's not going to be Zaya because she got here. It's not going to be Kindred, but it looks like Ari might just be the answer for the team now.
And with this little 80 carry 1v1 too, such a difference maker. That level 6 coming through from JoJo to get the quickness, I think turned around that fight a little bit for Fluxo. And yeah, Tuts does have 2 kills, gonna feel pretty good. The gold a little bit more distributed across the members of Fluxo, but still going on to some of the critical members, with each House and Bruncy having a kill to their name. And we have seen bot lane swapped around as well, with all the towers still up and available, just deciding, hey, it's time to play mid lane. Oh, well, hang on, that's just a flash in from JoJo. Nobody here to support IU. No ult, no summoners, no life. Easy kill pickup for Fluxo.
Ah, this is Zaya when she has nothing available. Oh my god, they're fighting too!
Hey, wait, Batal gonna pop ulti, but he's got no mana. Ty just gonna trade back and forth, and that's health bars going low, but no kill.
Yeah, that's no mana on for you. He is not really able to continue, but on the mid lane, very unfortunate game for Aya so far. Already the second time that he dies, hasn't been able to complete the mythic item, while Kai so very happily with 2 kills and already a static shift. She's running around, she's going to be able to cut through the waves, and for Fluxo right now, this is going to be important. They need to continue pushing through the lanes. They need to continue fighting for the prior and for the first turret in the game too, because this is going to give them a massive gold advantage and a really good objective advantage as well.
And Bruncy being the richest person in game after that kill. MVP caliber split so far from this player. Has, I think, single-handedly won Fluxo quite a few of their games. And in the other ones, Fluxo has propped him up even more to be the carry. It's just been an absolute masterclass, and anytime he gets fed, I know you've got to be worried if you're on the opposite side of the rift. Now, Furia, again, their scaling is still fantastic, and the gold lead is still only about 2,000 now after the Herald charge, and that was just gold onto the Sejuani. Brunsey did not get any of those plates, so it's not doomed by any means for Furia yet, but with Dragon coming up and available, Fluxo will at least be able to try to extend their lead a little bit.
And I'm starting to get worried about their scaling as well. Because there is still Syndra on the other side of the map, and Syndra scales really well into the late game. She's going to have really devastating amount of damage onto Fury that they're not going to be able to dodge or anyhow avoid it as long as they don't have Lam's Respite. This is going to be their own lead against this Syndra. And their own scaling is under question now because Kindred is still suffering 0-1-0 at almost 14th minute in the game. This is not what you want to see at Kindred. And if you already decided to go into Kindred and enter a 280 carry strategy for your team, you need to be working around them and not just sitting back and waiting for the scaling to hit in, because it might just not hit for you at all.
That's a very good point. Can we get a stack check on Kindred really quick? I'm very curious. Has Goot gotten a single mark? My answer, I'm inclined to say no.
I don't think he has.
Yeah, well, we'll see if we can get that at some point when it comes to. You can see that difference in late gold, basically making up a good chunk of the gold advantage. Now, Furia did just get that dragon. It is traded for top lane tier 1, so Fluxo getting more gold, but there's not really any threat of a soul stack on their side. And when you are playing against a double 80 carry composition that scales so well like this, a lot of times soul can sort of help you get over the hump there. So this is a win condition for Furia that Fluxo does not have access to.
Do they want to go in? Do they? You cannot
Look at the
go
stacks,
in
by
right
the
now.
way.
Oh
That's
no!
0 stacks.
No, that hurts so much to see. No, poor Kindred. But then they have to fight for the Herald, because the Herald is up and running on the map.
Yeah, I think Goot might be. If he was not externally crying before, like, someone check this man. He might literally be having a terrible time. But that's going to be a nice engage. House forced to stopwatch early. Goot does catch a Glacial Prison in the face, and everybody presses R and walks away.
That's one of the weirdest fights I've seen so far. But no R available in Sejuani. No R available in Kindred and Ari and On. It looks like for Fluxo things look just a little bit better to go and fight for this Herald, and it's not going to be contested in any way. Again, poor Kindred is not in a space where she can go and fight Sejuani solo in the jungle. She needs items, she needs gold, and she needs stacks, and she has been denied absolutely everything in this game. Where for Fluxo, things look really good because this turret in the mid lane has been destroyed, and this is opening the map for them really nicely. Maybe, hopefully, they will be able to fight for the next dragon, because you mentioned the soul. We again have the Hex soul, and this is going to benefit Furia's composition so well.
Definitely will. And Fluxo just able to get another Herald right there. I feel like that fight that just happened was like in offsides in soccer or football for my Brazilian and European friends, as, you know, like the ball was trying to be put into play and then it just immediately stopped because someone was offsides, and it's like, okay, everybody just go back to doing what you were doing, and that's that. So, yeah, it was a bit of a weird one, but regardless, Fluxo, they're just extending their lead. Now 4,000 up.
Look at Kai'Sa. This is going to be another example of AP Kai'Sa. And honestly, I love it. I think this is going to work really well for Fluxo in this game too, because she has a lot of opportunities to scale up nicely with her items that she's going to pick for her AP damage, and her poke is going to be really good against squishies on the side of Furia, and everybody on their side is squishy. If she has the items, Kindred and Xayah are going to lose half of their health with just one empowered W from Kai'Sa.
And you can't forget too, the thing with AP Kai'Sa is not only does it do a lot of poke, which it absolutely does, but those passive procs can shred these tanks as well.
Yes.
The champ just does a hell of a lot of damage, and man, this Renekton pick, I mean, I know Batal took the Ornn sort of expecting to lose lane, but Ty is up 40 CS, has now taken his second turret of the game. He briefly had just a farm bounty and might even get a second Herald crash here if he can help it, but not quite, as Furia is here to defend.
Okay, and they also got the turret in the top lane in the meantime. But it's just one turret versus 3 turrets that Fluxo managed to get in the meantime. All the outer turrets are completely gone for Furia. You know what? I've seen that somewhere already. I have flashbacks from the first game, and I'm not sure if I like it or not.
It is actually eerily similar, because Fluxo, they've been so firmly in the driver's seat this game. I am getting a little bit worried. Like, I mean, it's just been too much of a CBLCK game. I'm waiting for when these crazy team fights are gonna start happening. But, I mean, you can't really fault both sides. Fluxo, they're getting a lead without needing to kill anybody. And Furia, they're sitting back saying, hey, guys, let's scale. So I feel like with all that being considered, it makes sense. It's just, I don't know. Dragon's Soul point potentially for Furia in a minute. Maybe that's where we'll see some action.
Yeah, I just want to tell you, I think I know when the fights are going to start. In a minute, maybe a little bit earlier just to prepare for the dragon, because Furia absolutely need to take this dragon. Ideally, they need to make sure that Ari gets to the second item before it happens, because she's only sitting on Even Shroud. It's a good item for a team fight, but it's not a good item for Ari in the current state because she is lacking some damage. If she doesn't have anything on top of Even Shroud, the passive is not working either, so it's not doing much.
In the sense that, you know, a big goal of this composition is creating base for your AD carries, I feel like the Even Shroud makes sense, but I'm with you. It feels so bad not having that damage when you're the one that has the kills right now.
Yeah,
you're 2-1.
exactly.
You've got the gold, and so I do agree with you in that sense. The Everfrost, it is a decent item, but feels bad for this fight, as by and large, damage items for Furia, not really here. They've got the Kraken Slayers, but when you're looking at a Ludens and a 2-item Renekton on the other side, double Radiant Virtue as well, Fluxo is definitely stronger in terms of itemization here, Solari, as Dragon has now been started. Ty playing over the wall, could look to get on a carry. That's going to be the Ornhorde called in as House flashes away from it. But Tao has been taken very low from this Kaisa, and now Zai just tries to zone out the rest of the team. It is a botch fight, as that's a huge engage. Fluxo gets onto everybody, and Furia's getting torn apart. 2 kills already falling, and Goot and Batal barely able to slip away on low health bars. Furia, they wanted the fight around the dragon, and Fluxo punished.
Excuse me, I need somebody to go and check the computer of that Rakan, because that was something illegal. How can you, as Furia, allow this guy to jump on your back lane, to knock up everybody in there, and get out of this alive?
I don't know. I mean, look, let's take another look at it, because, I mean, Furia, they've got an idea here, but I feel like Fluxo was just positioned better, Solari.
They were positioned much better. This flash was really good because of that the Ornhorde is going absolutely useless. After that, there is a very good position for Renekton. He's managing to cut out Pharrell, and look at this. Look at this Rakan. He's chomping in onto everybody on the Furia. Why did they have to be so grouped up when there is Sejuani and Rakan on the enemy team? Is something I will not understand.
Definitely a tough look, and now Furia, they're down 5,000 gold. They're going to try to get onto House as the Magnustorm does land. Charm to follow, so a nice kill, and go get him, Mark! He's got 1!
Yay! Woo! We're going, boys! We're starting scaling! Oh, let's go! Come back! Come back!
Better late than never, I guess.
Yes!
As Fluxo, they might be better late than never to this play, though. They've got members on the way. It's going to be a 3v3 once Jojo arrives. Furia, they're getting corralled into the corner. TP going to come through from Batal, but it can't be answered by Ty. IU on the way as well, and House, he's got no teleport, so it is a 5v4 in favor of Furia. Maybe this is their chance. Jojo going to get over the wall, going to Blast Cone, and Furia able to get away from the play that they started. Don't give up any kills.
Everybody's getting able to get away, not showing any kills, because this fight could have been devastated in the jungle, in such an enclosed terrain, with quite some ultimates available, especially on the side of Flux. That's could have been very explosive, but it could go both ways, so it's good for both of the teams to just retreat right now. I see the mark on the map. Maybe it's going to be the second mark for Kindred, but if Furia are rotating to the ball side of the map right now, they're going to lose a lot of control around the Baron. There's already a lot of vision from Fluxo in this side of the map, with not enough from Furia. They have mostly the different ball. Fluxo are going really offensive into the enemy jungle. So if Furia rotate too much to the ball side right now, they could just give too much freedom for Fluxo to go and apply pressure on the Baron.
So we got to talk about as well, at what point do we feel like Furia's composition might be able to contend with Fluxo's? Because right now, Brutsy is well on his way to 3 items. Same with Ty. And I mean, like you already highlighted, Furia's scaling's not that much better. So what point do they need to get to where they can step to Fluxo?
finish 2 items on the AD carries, and after that you have to fight, because if you don't fight then, you are going to lose your only winner. Fluxo are just going to keep getting the items in. Fluxo are going to be still 1 or at least a half item ahead of you if you don't do anything with the goal difference right now. And the ornaments are not really going to help much, because so far he has only upgraded his own items. That's a little bit selfish, but we love it.
Yeah, at this day and age, you know, you're forced to upgrade your own first. Ornn, very selfish guy. He gives himself the cool sword before anyone else, or in this case, the cool... What is that? Is Radiant Virtue like a staff? I don't even know what that thing is.
I don't know. Oh, no, no. What are you doing?
Yeah, someone tell me. This is ambitious. Maybe just trying to get the teleport out as it does come through from House. Batal getting taken very low. Furia, they are drawing the line in the sand right here. Okay, they're gonna back away.
Okay.
Not give any kills. I was very afraid that they would just lose the game in that moment.
Yes. Same here. Like, getting the teleport out is a really good idea, but the moment you do it, you really need to disengage immediately from the Baron. Otherwise, you can just get stuck in there, still with the with the ultimate available on Sejuani. You don't want to be caught like that. So it's good for Furia. They disengage. No teleport is available for Fluxo. They got all of them out, so it's fine. Now just survive for a little while longer, just a minute more, because there is a dragon coming up.
And Slower, you talked about 2 items on your 80 carries. IU does have the Devori Quick Blaze now. A huge power spike on Xayah. So that is going to help out a lot, I would imagine. Goot working towards that Trinity Force as well. Getting there. A very expensive item, but should hopefully at least be on his way. And I mean, it's been a slow game. Both these teams, they're hanging out, having a good time on Summoner's Rift. I think Fluxo's having a better time on Summoner's Rift, but yeah, you know, they're chilling.
They're chilling with much more money in their pockets, with much more items completed. Oh, the damage! That Fluxo definitely are chilling.
Yeah, House has 2 items. He's a little strong as IU gets chunked out quite a bit right there. Fortunately, the Void Seeker didn't land. That would have been bad if the Xayah poke, or Kai'Sa rather, started coming through as Ty has found a ram in the bush and another scatter land. Xayah gets chunked very low. One more auto and proc to passive, but they can't find it. Now it's going to be the Glacial Prison and a great engage from Jojo. Furia's taken very low, but the Lamb's Respite does keep everybody alive. And Furia, they're going to be able to disengage the fight. A fantastic Feather Storm dodges everything. And the defensive ultimate usage from Furia was beautiful. The problem is that their health bars are so low, and Fluxo can go to the Baron.
And they should, and they are doing it right now, and rightfully so. They are in control of this game. That was really good answer from Furia there. Managing to survive, just despite all odds. Very good mechanically there, but it was not enough on the macro level, because this is the Baron for Fluxo, and they are going to go through the map very quickly right now. It's going to be answered by a soul point for Furia, but it's just a soul point. It's not a soul yet. It's not going to be game decisive here.
And how bad does it feel to be interpreted as a victory just for nobody to die and still lose the Baron completely for free? Sure, you get soul point, but like you said, if Fluxo uses this Baron the way they should, then Furia will never see their own river again, and much less that Dragon Soul, and that becomes the problem.
As they should, is a good point here. They should use it split pushing like madman, as they are, because you can see already Ty is on the bot lane. He is going to be a menace to answer, because with the empowered minions, he is going to cut through the lanes very quickly. Syndra and Kai'Sa both have pretty nice wave clear moment, so they can pretty much split through all 3 lanes right now, especially their half Rakan with their Kai'Sa all of the times. They are going to be doing it safely enough for Furia to not be able to find any offensive answer.
Okay, now hear me out. I'm gonna give you like an extreme copium overdose right now. We're talking about parallels with the Kaboom Liberty game, right? Now Liberty, they got a Baron. You know what happened when they got that Baron? They all died and they lost the lead, right? I mean, all I'm saying is, like, it could happen.
In theory, it could happen. There is still Ari available for Furia, who is sitting on 2.5 items, who has very good flanking opportunity against the enemies. She can go on to Kai'Sa. She could even maybe not go into Syndra anymore, because we already passed the point where Syndra is, where Syndra was weaker than her. But there is a chance for her to do something on the back lane with the enemy while everybody else is distracting the front. So I could see the world where it's happening for Furia. The thing is, I'm not seeing it happening right now, because poor Kindred still hasn't completed the Triforce. Without it, she's not really a fighter, and everybody else is still suffering.
you know, this might come as a surprise, but the 7-4 Fluxo is playing a bit better with their Baron than the 1-11 Liberty did, and they have now successfully taken every outer tower. Their gold lead has now extended to 9,000 at just 28 minutes. That is a massive Baron power play in the top right of our screen.
That is massive for Fluxo. I love the amount of copium that he gave me, but I don't think
might have been a little much. Yeah.
or,
I don't know.
Or this way, yeah. I'm not seeing how Furia getting out of this. The thing with picking things like Kindred and 280 carries in a team is that you're limiting yourself a lot. If you're not doing anything about them, they die.
Oh, he got the crab! Jojo got the crab, and now it's going to be double teleporting from Furia. Very, very deep. Tuts, you do not want to be there, my friend, as gets taken very low by the Unleashed Power. Now, Glacial Prison lands onto IU, who has the cleanse. Ty dashing forward, slice, but no dice. And it's going to be no dice on the fight either. As Sutter, hang on, does land. They're trying to just pepper Furia on their retreat, but it looks like they're going to be able to make it back to their inhibitor tower in time and hold on to their base.
Oh, wait. Ty is stopping some recalls there, but this is still going to be able to recall, which is important. He's almost sitting on Rabadon's death cap, but completing Rabadon takes a lot of gold. He doesn't have this gold. He's not going to have it on time because the inhibitors are still up and the minions going their way are still just a small minions. He's not even going to profit from the offensive stance that Fury are taking on the map. And offensive stance is not helping them whatsoever because there is still that Kindred that is not sitting on 2 items. There is still, okay, thank you very much. No, she is sitting on 2 items. I feel a little bit better, but she's not going to be able to do much without the second stack that is so far away from her.
Don't worry, you're gonna feel a lot worse when you realize that Kindred still only has 1 mark at 29 minutes into the game. So yeah, rough look as Patao. You gotta be careful, my friend. You can get burned down by this Kaisa. And holy moly, hows with this Syndra, these scatters have been huge.
That's the Syndra. Eddie's almost 30 minutes in the game. She's sitting on 2.5 items and she's very happy about where she is because 16th level is where she absolutely starts popping off and you cannot really do anything about the burst damage. If she decides to lock onto you, you're done. And she's not the only one like that in her team because there is Kaisa on 3 items already, including the Ginsu. We had a little discussion about Ginsu in the last game. He's so worried to Craven. In this game, it might just be the same because this is the moment where you as Fluxo need to unleash this Kaisa and let her shine.
See if they're able to do that. Furia is pushing up really far, but that's IU taking a scatter with no cleanse, and now Jojo into the back line, charming up everybody. The Lamb's Respite is once again brilliant from Goot, but Furia's health bars are very low, and Tuts is only just now arriving to the fight. They've gotten in onto House. Do you have the damage? Tuts is able to assassinate him, but IU's been traded out. Zai and Patao almost certain to drop as well, and with Baron spawning in 45 seconds, Dragon in 1. A 3-for-1 means that Fluxo has run of the map. Maybe they can even try to end as they are just taking up this inhibitor tower.
Yeah, have you seen this Renekton? Have you seen how much health he has and more importantly how much he heals right now? They don't even need the minions anymore. They can just unleash him and go under the... It is just as good against the world. Can they defend it?
We'll have to see. It's Ty going in. Tuts and Goot. It's all on your shoulders. But Brunzy had the cleanse to get out of charm, and now they've gotten onto Tuts. That's going to be the stopwatch getting burned. But Goot just gets deleted by Brunzy. And with the Nexus exposed, there's no hope in hell for Furia. They're going to fall down to 5.